This is happiness, to be everything at once. Be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Mood Prep. My name is Dave Nixon, and today I want to share with you a story that I remember hearing many moons ago, and one that I repeat a number of times. It became relevant in a conversation today, and I want to share with you. I don't know the source of it. I can't remember who where I first read it or who told me it, but either way, the story is about two brothers, and this reporter figured out that these twin brothers, one of them is a CEO of a Fortune 500 company, and the other one is a drug addict on the streets. And he found this quite fascinating, and he thought, well, how did these two guys grow up as twins, right, same household, and end up so vastly different? And so he went about interviewing them. He's like, I'm going to ask them the same questions and see what their responses were, right? Interviewing the first person, which was the son that's the Fortune, or the brother that's the Fortune 500 CEO, he asked him a bunch of questions, and what he got out of the questions was understanding that his dad was actually quite an abusive alcoholic, and this particular brother was actually sober. He didn't drink, and he got all the way through the questions and got to the last question, and he said, "Why do you think you are who you are today?" And he said, "With a father like mine, how could I not?" Fair call. He went and sourced and found the homeless brother, the drug addict on the streets, and told him that he'll pay him some money to do an interview, and went through and asked him the exact same questions, and he got to the final question, and he said, "Why do you think you are where you are today?" And he goes, "With a father like mine, how could I not?" See, the powerful thing in this story is that we are not in control of how other people make meaning of the world. We are only in control of how we choose to make meaning of the world. We as let's say, we as parents have, I'm not a parent, but let's hypothetically say as parents, whether we are in one now or we're going to be one in the future, we really have no control over how our children perceive us. It's the exact same rule for maybe how our spouses perceive us. You've got to remember, I did a podcast a little while ago that I was saying that there's a different version of you in every single person that thinks they know you. You're not the same person to your dad, to your mother, to a sibling, to a co-worker. You're a different person. Even to yourself, you are a different person to all of those people, right? They have an image in their head, in their mind, of who they think you are. This is really, really different and really interesting. And so we have an influence, and this is something that's really, really worth knowing, that you have the four things that are in your power. This is your speech, your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions, your behaviors, that is. Now, all of those things influence. They can influence people's perceptions, but we are not in control of them, right? We can only influence them. What goes past that and what's not in your control is other people's meaning structures, other people's map of reality. And we have to step back and look at this and go, how much time are we wasting trying to behave in a way that hoping someone's going to end up liking us or wanting us or want to work with us or hire us or whatever the case might be. And during that time, we are acting, out of alignment to what's true for us. Right? And if we really shut the fuck up and listen to ourselves, right? Really listen to the quiet voice, because it's not the fucking loud voice. The loud voice is doubt. The loud voice is ego. That loud voice is just a scared little child, right? The quiet one, the quiet voice that you have, fucking knows what's up. And if you want to actually hear the answer and you want to listen to it, if you can listen to yourself, you will know what's true. If you're acting out of alignment with what your values are, what your truth is, in order to manipulate how somebody may perceive you, then you're fooling two people, right? You're fooling them and you're fooling yourself. And so this is a really powerful thing, that when we stay true to ourselves and we learn to have the difficult conversations at the difficult times, right? Because the thing is that throughout life, we're going to have difficult conversations. And if we're waiting for the easy time to have the difficult conversation, then that difficult conversation is going to pop up at a time that's so fucking inconvenient rather. It's just going to come up at that point, because the world is not interested in giving you an easy path for the difficult shit that you're avoiding. And until we can realize that, until we can truly understand that and embody that, it's going to keep showing up. And that's okay. That's life, and that's lessons. And this is simply just observing behaviors of ourselves, of myself, of the people that I work with, and understanding that some of the biggest frustrations come with things that are outside of our control. And so if we're frustrated about something that's outside of our control, we have handed over our power. We are now no longer in control of our frustration. We have given it to someone or something else. And what that means is that we can live in fear and have no control over it. We can live in anxiousness constantly and have no control over it. And so we've got to step back and look at this and go, with our meaning structures, with the things that we've found difficult in this world, and how we are meaning makers, this equals that, right? This means this. Are these meaning structures fucking serving me? Or are they not serving me? Right? Are they keeping me anxious? It's like, well, I don't want this person to think this of me. It's like, well, then don't behave in a particular way. It's like, but they might still think that of me. It's like, yeah, and that's their fucking right to. It doesn't mean that you are that, because that's where the real power is, and it takes time, but that real internal authority to be able to be like, I understand who I am. I don't need you to understand who I am. And if you do, that's great. If it takes you 10 years, fantastic. But I'm not going to devote my life to attempting to get you to try and understand who I am when you are destined, when you are so committed to misunderstanding me. And if we can be in that space, we're not only asking ourselves to stand up for what's true and what's right, we're asking other people to as well. We're holding other people to account, because we're holding ourselves to account. And this is how you fucking change the world, one person at a time, and you start with yourself, and you stand up for what you believe and what is true. Now, in saying this, it also gives us a flip of going, well, hang on a sec, where is this drive to want to be seen or perceived or held in a particular way by someone else? What am I actually fearing? And this is one of the conversations I may have weekly with people, where it's like, when this frustration that you're talking about pops up, tell me, do you feel like a boy or a man? Do you feel like a girl or a woman? And more often than not, they'll be like, I feel like a boy, right? Or I feel like a girl. It's like, right. So what's happening in that circumstance for you that's resorting in you like resetting back to being a boy or a girl? Like, what happened at that age that makes you feel that way? What are you really trying to get approval of here? What are you really trying to get external validation from here? And more often than not, the person or the thing that they're frustrated with, it's not that person, right? It's fucking shit from the past. And the thing is that it's called object relation. You have a relation with an object. It could be a stepfather, it could be anything. And your relation with that, if you do not have closure on it, and you don't need them to have closure on it, you can just have closure on it. If you do not have closure on it, it's going to keep fucking showing up. It's like, well, I don't know why that guy pisses me off so much. It's like, well, if you sit in a dark room and ask enough questions, you might be able to figure out why. And then when you figure out why, you can start figuring out how to get over it. Because more often than not, and this is, I mean, I have 100% been this person. When I've figured out that my frustration in someone had nothing to do with them and had to do with my own personality and my own difficulties, I started to understand them. Beforehand, I didn't want to understand them. I didn't even know that I didn't want to understand them, right? It's because I didn't understand myself. I didn't understand why I was frustrated, because that's where the real frustration's coming from. But on that note, team, I'm out. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you found this podcast beneficial, it would mean the world to me if you'd pass it on to someone else that you think would also find it beneficial. If you haven't already, jump on Instagram, find me at DDNix. I put up a quick summary of these podcasts every single day on IGTV. I'd love to see you there. I'd love to you to share it if you can. Otherwise, jump on Mood Prep Online on Facebook. Continue the conversation there. That's it. I'm out. Until tomorrow, peace and pizza. Kick today in the dick. And you slay the dragon. I'll see you soon.
To be everything at once, be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.